This is me.
Just kidding. This is me.
My name is Amanda, and welcome to my podcast where I will be talking about pop culture, music,
Film, drama, and fan videos.
Hello and welcome back to my channel, Always Popular. I'm Amanda, your host, and let's jump into this week's episode. For this week's episode, it was hard to choose a topic because there's a lot going on this past week in entertainment. If you're a fan of the Jonas Brothers, maybe you found out that they recently got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The star was recently given to them this past week. Also, the iconic museum, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just announced their nominations for the class of 2023, and so much more. So today, let's talk about rock and roll. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has been around for a long time to entertain fans and people who simply love rock and roll music and its impact it has on the general public. The hall was established in 1983 by Ahmet Ertegun, who was the founder and chairman of Atlantic Records. He created a team of people that included the publisher of Rolling Stone magazine, Jan Wiener, record executives Seymour Stein, Bob Krasnow, Noreen Woods, Alan Grubman, and Suzanne Evans. So I would like to discuss, does it really matter if you're not rock and roll and inducted in the Hall of Fame? Of course, with a title like that, you think it's common sense to just induct people who are just simply rock and roll in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. However, for a long time now, it has changed a lot over the years to induct more people who aren't rock and roll at all. So do these musicians and bands really deserve to be in this museum? Today, it's time to debate. Just recently, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced its nominations for the class of 2023 a few days ago. Good news is that they aren't getting a lot of hate for the nomination they have this year compared to other years. So first, let's see the nominations for the class of 2023. The nominations include Kate Bush, country singer Sheryl Crow, rap queen Missy Elliott, Iron Maiden, Joy Division / New Order, 80s singer Cyndi Lauper, George Michael, country legend Willie Nelson, Rage Against the Machine, Soundgarden, The Spinners, A Tribe Called Quest, The White Stripes, and Warren Zevon. I like this list because there's a lot of artists and bands that have had a big impact in music history and on other people as well who were influenced by them. So is the Hall of Fame really being unfair to rock people? It's a bit complicated. I would say no and yes at the same time, so let me explain. My first reason why is because maybe I think the Hall of Fame wants to include more people from different backgrounds of music regardless of their impact. I think it's that big of a deal that other people are being put in the museum. I would think if as long as they have a big impact on rock and roll history and somewhat pave the way for other people, I think it's fine. Also, especially on their official website, it says this remarkable list of nominees reflects the diverse artists and music that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame honors and celebrates. So that already proves one of my points I wanted to mention. I thought over the years that maybe the voting committees wanted to have more diversity and to include more people with different backgrounds. Also, maybe they don't want to exclude other backgrounds and genders like they did in the past, like they used to. Also, in the past, not that many females were nominated and inducted into the hall. The first time that happened was in 1987 with Aretha Franklin. So to be honest, they came a long way. I think it's better that they are including other people in the Hall of Fame. Also, a little piece of music history, rock and roll music was invented by African American artists who did jazz, rhythm and blues, and country. So for example, is it really that big of a deal if Sheryl Crow is in the Hall of Fame? In addition to the Hall of Fame, is there really a rule for this museum that says that you have to be a rock and roll legend with massive impact? Clearly not. To be honest, there's no requirement or rules that say that you have to be a rock and roll music artist or band. The only requirement or guideline is that you have to be eligible after your first commercial recording is 25 years old prior to the induction year. So why are rock fans complaining? It is just music, so maybe some people need to take a chill pill and stop overreacting to others being nominated. It's not like their music is bad. Just because you don't like it, it doesn't mean that they are not going to be nominated. Anyway, moving on to my next reason, which is about playing favorites. Honestly, that would be the only red flag when it comes to, of course, inducting people. If someone or a band got nominated just because they are a favorite to someone on the committee, I would think that would be BS and clearly not cool. Over the years, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has had controversies about playing favoritism, and Jan Wiener, who is part of the committee, is the one who is facing the backlash and receiving the allegations. It's similar to other award ceremonies where they say awards don't go to the most deserving people, just the favorites. In addition, from an article about the controversy, it says podcaster and comedian Mark Maron is among those who have noticed that the Rock Hall seems biased against certain types of bands, and in an October 6, 2022 episode of his podcast, What the F with Mark Maron, he hosted contacted Rolling Stone magazine founder and original editor Jan Wiener, who is making the media rounds promoting his memoir, unsurprisingly titled Like a Rolling Stone. Wiener was also a co-founder of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and for many years was not only a member of the nominating committee, the chairman of the institution. Specifically, he dropped out of the nominating committee after 2006 and resigned from the chairman position in 2019. So to be honest, people shouldn't be throwing shade and stuff like that at him, especially if he's not a part of the museum anymore. So maybe the nominations this year aren't being hated or criticized because it's actually a good list, and because he's not a part of the committee anymore. So all in all, there's nothing for diehard rock fans to complain about except for the favoritism shit. I understand the frustration because I like rock music too. I bet there's people who deserve to be in there who aren't. However, there's nothing that we can do about it unless it becomes fan voted in the future, and no matter what, some fans will always complain because you can't please everyone. Lastly, before I go, so for this year's class, do you agree with the picks, or are you a fan of just allowing just rock and roll people in? And mostly, what rock bands from the past do you think should have been inducted years ago? Once again, thanks for listening and watching, and you'll hear me in the next episode.